And we got a call about kids in need and need for a placement. A couple of the things that had arisen during that conversation, Cresta and I had always said that if we had another boy, his name would be James. As it turned out, Hannah and Florence and Jane were taken into care and taken to Eggleston about a day or two after Cresta began to very intentionally pray that God would protect our babies. So that kind of left us with a real sense of there's far more to this than us. We had no intention of adopting per se when we went into foster care. But I think we knew pretty quickly that these children, one, would not likely return to a home, and two, that they didn't need a lot of placements and disruption. And so we began to reorient to the idea that we might be drawing Social Security and celebrating high school graduations at the same time. In February of 2016, we'd had the kids almost a year and a half, and of course I had a catastrophic medical event. In almost all the cases, the children have to be removed from the home, our home, and typically they're placed somewhere else in foster care. It just so happens, as God had sort of ordained this, that Ronnie and Talisa had gotten involved at the beginning with us as a respite family, and so they were always Paw and Mimi. They got their home wrapped up pretty quickly, and the kids went to Ronnie and Talisa's. They went to Paw and Mimi's. We wanted to minimize disruption. They had really what's a very normal, Dad got sick and we had to go stay with Grandma and Granddad. And to this day, that's how they process it and really don't think any differently. It culminated on December 22nd when we adopted Hannah, Florence, and James. And in those kids, we truly look at and see the personification of the gospel. It is, by the suffering of innocence that they had a chance at restoration, at being redeemed. And so when we think of our kids, we think of Psalm 40, verses 1 through 3, and then verses 16 and 17. I want to read those. I waited patiently for the Lord, and He turned to me and heard my cry for help. He brought me up from a desolate pit, out of the muddy clay, and set my feet on a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. David closes that psalm in verse 16 and 17, saying, let all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Let those who love your salvation continually say, the Lord is great. I am afflicted and needy, the Lord thinks of me. You are my helper and my deliverer. My God, do not delay. So it's a real joy to hear them singing, How Great Is My God, in the back seat of the car on the way to school. So we pray over them that they'll be great and mighty warriors for God.